Good day, ladies and gentlemen, this one Goats here, and today we're showing one of the newest decks to come to Yu-Gi-Oh! Mannadium. Now, I really liked this deck when I first saw it, mostly because it uses those world and the glass spheres things, whatever they're called. I really like them. And I decided to go with the Bystial build of the deck. The reason for this mostly is Dragoon, to be perfectly honest, just so I can make Dragoon. Also, just for warning, you'll be seeing a couple of backwards turned cards here, because there's some cards in the deck that are pretty pricey that I don't actually own yet. So before I start this video, a shout out to the Shonen Gamer who lent me his copies of Bystial Starfrost today. And that being said, let's begin. Starting things off with Mannadium Marine Heart, the heart and soul of the deck. I realised that was a pun, I didn't think about that. Anyway, this card on normal special summon can add any Mannadium card from deck to hand, making the best starter in the deck. Also, you can special summon this card by destroying one monster on your side of the field. And all the Mannadiums get their effects when they're destroyed, so this is one of the best value engines in the deck. So meaning that we have two copies of Bystial Starfrost. Again, I had to borrow these, so please excuse this. Bystial Starfrost, he is a level 6 tuner that again can be summoned by destroying a monster on your field. So again, he triggers off the Mannadium cards. He's also the key tuner in several of the extract monsters I have. So that's why I didn't need to play 3 of this guy though. I think 2 is more than enough to see him. So it's also much easier on the wallet. Anyway, next the Scareclaw package, 1 Rykart, 1 Scareclaw Arrival, and 1 Planet. Now, for this again, I may up the Scareclaw to 2, because if you draw this and the planet you can. It's kind of a brick. Basically, this is another monster that can let you special summon your Mannadiums. It also gives you more access to the Scareclaw Link 1, which gives you access to this, so this by itself is a Link 2, which can give you things like Sprite Sprint and other good Link 2s like Cross Sheep. Next up, we have the domes themselves. This is very simple: triple Meek, triple Fearless. Meek is by far the best one. You see, all of these monsters can summon themselves from your hand if you control a Bystial Starfrost or monster that fits under attack and 2100 defense. So what you want to do is you want to bring these out, synchro summon. You want to bring these out, so I pop them with things like Bystial Starfrost, trigger their effects, get another one, and then you go do your synchro plays. Meek is the best one because when it summons another one from deck, it can up the level to 4. This gives us access to level 10 synchros very easy. It's also just a better artwork in my opinion. Fearless gives them an attack boost, the synchro you summon. But, let me get this right. Yeah, it gives your synchro 400 attack points, but that doesn't come up too often. It's just another good name. Next up, for the Mannadium package, triple Peaceful Planet Calamarium. How do you pronounce this name? This card lets us add a Mannadium from deck to hand on activation, and when you pop a Mannadium card, you can bring it back, so you can get an extra tuner on the field with this. In addition to this, it also gives our light monsters a 100-point boost for every tuner in the field and graveyard. So this can help us push through damage for an OTK going second. Next up, we have 1 copy of Imaginings and 3 copies of Abstraction. So this is how we fix our hand in the cards of a brick. Like if we open up too many Bystial Starfrosts or too many Bestials and no other ways. What this does is you reveal Mannadium, then you draw 2 and put a card on bottom, and that's pretty much how it works. In addition to this, you can also banish this card from your graveyard and turn one of your monsters with the Mannadium stats into a tuner, like for example Rykart. So this gives you more access to level 6 and level 8 synchros. I only play 1 of this because if too many of them can brick. Like if you want too many of these and no Mannadium monsters, it's just dead in your hand. And this card lets us destroy 1 monster on the field and then add the field spell to our hand, or if we already have the field spell out, let's give access to one of these cards, which we'll talk about in a second. In addition to this, you can bash this in the graveyard, to summon a monster with the aforementioned stats from your hand. This is really good because, again, it's a way to keep pushing advantage and trigger the Mannadium effects. Definitely a good 3 of. I'm glad I played 3. Now we have 1 break heart and 1 reframing. You could potentially play 2 reframing. Reframing essentially is an infinity barrier. When you have a synchro on the field, let me see if I got this right, you can negate the activation of their effects. If you have a visa or a monster with the aforementioned stats, you can destroy the card. Again, this is searchable with the aforementioned application, so it's a really good additional interruption going first. In addition to this, if you are going into the grind game, you can banish this, put 3 Mannadiums back into your deck, so you can keep cycling through them to make more synchros. Mannadium Breakout again requires a synchro and a visa, and this one pops monsters on the field. Next, we're going to the Bestials. Double Rebellion, double Druid Worm, double Magnamute, and double Baldrake. I think if I did this again, I would probably cut the Baldrake and make it 3 Magnamutes. What these cards are here for is what they usually are for, to disrupt light and dark decks, to give you additional cards in your hand at the end of the turn, but mostly they're here to go with Mud Dragon and make Dragoon. Yeah, what can I say? I love that card. It was broken when it was first made, it's still broken now. And what's ironic, what I think is ironic is though, it's seen more playing now than when Anaconda was a thing, with decks like Branded and this. And tech in the deck is 1 Two Elements Merly. I play this because you can dump it off of Sprind, and then you can use this with the Visa Starfrost Fusion and make Dragus Tapelia for an extra interruption going first. Because the Visa Fusion, it's great going second, but going first, all it gives you is an additional way to activate your Mannadium effects. Hand traps, Ash, Growl. The Ash you could be whatever you want, but I'd say you really need Droll in this format, with decks like Heavy Samurai and Pearly wandering about. This could be anything you want. It could be a Nibiru if Kashtira is still big in your meta. It could be Ghost Ogre, but I like the Ash because I think it's the most versatile. And for our final cards in the deck, generic good cards, Rota, Terra, and Call By. Rota can search us the Mannadium cards. Terraforming can give us additional copy of either of the field spells we play in this deck, and Call by the Grave is just broken. That's our main deck. Let's go on to the extra deck, shall we? 1 copy of Scareclaw Lightheart, which, by the way, still looks like it's a fan-made card. This art, I just don't like it. Anyway, you can use this. You can use this with Reichhardt or Visa Starfrost. You can search if you read it with Visa, you can then search the field spell, put the field spell, summon Reichhardt, and go into a link too. This, if you have a Visa on the field, you can bring this back for further extension. Next, we have Cross Sheep. So a bunch of effects, depending what kind of monsters made under it. All we care about is the fusion one. It gives us back a tuner or a Reichhardt or a. Sorry, his name's gone in my head for a second here. Or a Room Hat. If I get to know place. Sprite Sprint. Again, you send Merlia for this with the Visa Starfrost Fusion. You can make Dragus Tapelia with it. That's mostly what it's here for. I've used Masquerena and Unicorn. If I put this deck again, I would also play Appaloosa or Underworld Goddess for additional link play. Because there was one game where I was playing against Golden Rally, whatever it's called, and they made that Synchro monster that I just could not get out. I could not out. So yeah, I think I played Underworld Goddess in the future in this deck. 1 Dragus Tapelia, 1 Vicious Asteroid, and 1 Dragoon. Vicious Asteroid going second, you can pop an opponent monster, make this massive and swing for an OTK. Going first, you can use it to pop a Mannadium, get its effects, and then you've got access to a level 10 Synchro. Dragus Tapelia, again, we do is make this, get this off of Sprint, and then we fuse these two, make Dragus Tapelia. It gives us negates on field, and it also messes with levels, which can stop things like Sprite, like Gigantic Sprite, or Castillo Shangira. and Dragoon. Now, Dragoon. This is the main reason I wanted to play the Bystial build of this deck, because I wanted to play this card since it first came out. This guy, this is a custom card that Konami actually downloaded and printed. I cannot convince me otherwise. It can't be targeted, it can't be destroyed by card effects. If you make it with non-monster, which is not often here, but just so you know, it can pop a card per turn, and it can negate anything for a discard and gain points when it does so. There was a couple of games I won today just sitting on this. The opponents could not out. And this deck is one of the easiest to make it outside of branded. You just need any way to make a level 6 Synchro and any Bystial. Because you can then go into Muddy Mud Dragon, which can count as any material as long as the other one's correct. So you have it take that magician's place, and then you make the material could be any effect dragon, so against a Bystial. Especially good if you make it a Magnum Mud, because then you get a search at the end, which means you increase the losses and card advantage. Finally, up to the Synchros, one of the Sarge's Excel Dragon. Again, I borrowed this. Basically, it's a level 8 Synchro. When it comes into play, it brings level 2 back, and then quick Synchros into level 10. So it's basically a way to bridge up the gap to get to our powerful level 10 Synchros. One Crystal Wing. Again, you can just make a level 6 Synchro, bring a Mannadium back from the grave, make this as a negate. You can pop monsters, it gains points, making it good going first or second. It's an oldie but a goodie. Next up, we don't actually have a Baron de Fleur, because that's the one card no one could lend me. So we're just going to play one Cheng Ying, one of the meme card, and one of the Bystial, and the last Synchro is Chad Warrior. This is just a draw, so you make this, draw a card, get the Mannadium back on field, make a level 8 value. This is, I actually never entered this today, so let's look at this together, shall we? So it can make it, if you make this with more than one tuner, so like 2 Mannadiums, it can attack twice. If you do something with a Mannadium tuner, which you'll always be doing in this deck, it can't be targeted. And if it leaves the field, you can special summon either a Vista Star Frost or monster with the aforementioned stats that's in your graveyard or banished. Again, never actually needed to go into this today, but it is pretty powerful. Cheng Ying, it's a 3k towers that when destroyed, you can banish a card to prevent that. It gets points when when monster's banished. And it can pop cards in opponent's field. Again, this should be a Baron de Fleur, but that card is too expensive right now to get. And this is still really good. And finally, the new Bystial Disparta. This card is nuts. It's a 3500 attack monster. It's a negate that gives you back cards in your deck. It shows back banished cards, meaning if, say, your Visa Starfrost gets banished, you can put it back in the deck and go again. It's a pop and a negate. This thing seems to be playing a lot of different decks, and it's not hard to see why. And that's it for the main and extra deck. I'll give you a quick rundown of the side deck. You've seen this a lot before, so I'm just going to go over this quick. 9 Kashtira out, so there's still 3 of those buggers stinking up local meta. Again, if your meta is not as Kashtira inclined as mine is, you could play Ogres on the side, you could play that card takes off XC material for Pearlies. But Kashtira is still an absolute thorn in my side, so yeah, these stay in for now. Again, the only going first side deck card, because until it's banned, it stops. It's great in the Mannadium mirror match. It stops Sword Soul. It slows down Kashtira. It's just dimensional bad. It won't want to be set at this point for this card. And I need to flex slots, so I chose Theoregeki for more, for dealing with the rogue combo decks I have in locals, like Phantom Knights, for example. This could be anything. Could be more hand traps. Could be Lightning Vortex, not Lightning Vortex, Lightning Storm. Could be some back row hate, like Cosmic Cyclone and Harpies. Whatever fits your locals better. So yeah, out of all the new decks that were released recently, Mannadium definitely was the one that impressed me the most, and I definitely had a lot of fun playing it. You'll be seeing a few other builds of this deck on the channel soon, because I do want to give the Sprite build a tryout, and give the Pure build possibly a tryout, although I admit that build isn't as interesting to me. So thanks guys for watching. Next scripted video should be out tomorrow, and I'll see you guys soon.